Today, I brought my two favorite games together and did a playthrough of the Cobblemon mod, which brings Pokemon into Minecraft with immersive models and animations. I want to fully experience everything this mod has to offer, including catching Pokemon, battling them, and maybe making a few cool builds. Now, my starter Pokemon of choice here was Snivy from the Unova region. Snivy's just one of my favoriteest Pokemon ever, and it's from my all-time favoriteest region from Pokemon. Unova in general just has a lot of really cool Pokemon, so you're probably gonna see me gushing about them a lot in this playthrough. Also, there are a few things I would like to talk about as we start our little journey here. Growing up, I watched a lot of Pokemon and Minecraft videos, specifically the Pixelmon playthrough that Little Lizard Gaming did years back, and it's been a dream of mine ever since I was a kid to try out a mod like this. Obviously, I couldn't do it back then since, you know, I didn't have a PC. Literally, all I had was my 3DS, which I watched YouTube on, and then eventually I did get an Xbox 360, which is what I first played Minecraft on. But once I turned 18 and got my own money, the first thing I bought was this laptop right here, and I am going to take advantage of it to achieve my childhood dream. I've been waiting on this for far too long. I am going to make this video. Now, I needed a spot to set up a little base, and I decided this patch of land right here would do. I really don't want another base in a forest biome, not after last video where I spent literally just hours on end clearing out forest just to build things. So my plan is to make this spot just a very temporary thing where I can get started, get resources, make some Pokeballs, get a few levels of my Pokemon. Ideally, I'd want to be in a plains biome for long-term success. Also, I did my first Pokemon battle against the Psyduck I found. I feel bad. I love Psyduck, such a cute Pokemon, but I need the XP. Also, it dropped a raw chicken, which I thought was really funny. Just the idea of being able to eat Pokemon is such a silly idea. And it started making my mind by going downwards, and I noticed my torch wasn't lighting up the area around me. So I quickly installed a dynamics light mod, but it's kind of terrible. Like the light like lags behind me, and I didn't like it at all. I get a new one eventually, but for now we're just gonna have to deal with this. Anyways, I end up getting some copper down here, bit more coal, some iron. Then I start digging a little bit deeper, and I find this massive mineshaft and cave. I do a bit of exploring, get some lapis, and actually find quite a few veins of diamonds, and I end up getting 8 total. Then this is one of my more embarrassing moments. I thought down there was water, but it turns out to just be very blue fog, and I died to my death. On my way back over to the base from World Spawn, I find this just area with a whole bunch of apricorn trees, and if you don't know, those are what you need to make Pokeballs, so I just quickly collected a few of those. These are actually very important, and I'm so glad I found this area. I then wanted to try this, like, extended storage mod, so I crafted this iron chest, which literally just makes the chest bigger. I also craft my first Pokeballs, and I try and capture the Sentret here. If you don't know, Sentret evolves into a Furret, which is one of my favoriteest Pokemon of all time. I even have this really cute plush of Furret. You know what? If you guys get me to 50,000 subscribers, I'll show it off. Why not? I also captured this Root Kitty right after. I let tab out for a moment, and my game crashes. Incredible. I love Minecraft Java Edition. It's not all that bad, though. I took this opportunity to install a new Dynamics Light mod, and oh my god, it looks so much better. And then got to work clearing out the area so I could start an apricorn farm. These are very important because, again, it's how you get Pokeballs. So having a farm just mass producing them for you is just such a useful thing to have. Then after planting a few of the sprouts, I cleared out even more land, and then I started exploring. I then found a Mischievous, which I tried my absolute hardest to catch, but I just couldn't do it. It broke out of both of my Great Balls. So I used my Sentret with Foresight so I could hit it with normal type moves, and ended up just killing it. It was good XP though. It's a very high level. I then found this tower thing, and after scaling to the very top, I encountered this chest Pokemon thing, hoping it would be loot. I ended up defeating it, which let us evolve Sentret into a Furret. Look at my little boy, I love him. And then I found actual loot at the tower. It gave us some XP candy, which I force-fed the Snivy to get it a bit more XP. And then found more XP candy, which again, I force-fed the Snivy, getting it to a high enough level to evolve into Servine. I just want to say, Servine looks so cool. Oh my god, I love it. I can't wait to get a Superior, though. Superior is such a sick Pokemon. And then crafted some Ultra Balls, which are significantly better than the Great Balls I was using before. While exploring some more, I found this giant cave, and I figured, might might as well start mining some more. I also found this leaf stone while mining coal, which is pretty cool. Maybe I'll find something to use that on one day. I also found this Sneasel, and I love the Sneasel evolution line, so I decided to catch it real quick. And then did this crawl mode strip mining strategy in hopes to find more diamonds, and I actually found quite a few veins while doing this. I'm just incredibly rich now. Back at the base, I decided to upgrade our iron chest into a gold chest just so it can hold a little bit more items. And then smelted down some of our gold and made it into a double gold chest, and it can hold so much stuff. Oh my god, this is absurd. And then after one more quick mining trip, which left us with over 20 diamonds, oh my god, I'm so rich, I decided to really lock in and do some crazy exploring. I wanted to go the extra mile this time, go across the ocean. I ended up finding this cool sky island thing. I don't quite know what it is or what its purpose is, but I catch another Pokemon here. Also, after a bit of struggling, I managed to catch a level 30 Sharpedo, which is absolutely insane. Also, I caught this Emolga, which is just another one of those Unova Pokemon I really like. And after a couple thousand more blocks of traveling, I find a Waystone. Waystones pretty much just let you teleport to whatever other Waystones you have set up, so I obviously grabbed that, and I set it up at this nice little rock back at our base. Next, I wanted to make my first build, which would be a neat little Pokemon Center using wood and stone. Before we get to that, though, I decided to finally make a PC so I could switch out my Pokemon, and I put a Mulga on my team. Next up, I started the outline of the Pokemon Center using logs. I was hoping to get a cool aesthetic going here using the wood and stone, since, you know, it would match with the surrounding area. I always thought it would be odd when I'd be in the middle of nowhere in a Pokemon game, then we'd have this, like, modern designed Pokemon Center just there randomly. So I wanted to go for more like a log cabin hospital type look. I don't know if that's actually a type of look. I've never seen a log cabin hospital, but, you know, if it's not, it is now. After making the outline and filling in a bit of the water nearby, I started filling in the floor, and I built up all the walls using spruce planks. I made sure to put in some glass panes up here. I thought it would just look really cool and add a bit of depth to the build so it's not completely blocky and flat. Also, the reference image I was using used glass panes up here, so that also contributed to my decision here. Also, as I was restocking on resources, I found this Ditto, and I made sure to catch it, because I really like Ditto. I also have a really cool Ditto plush. It's literally sitting right next to me on my desk right now. It's just there with my 2 Shellos plushies, because I love Shellos. That's actually my favorite Pokemon. I'm very sad that Cobblemon doesn't have Shellos or Gastrodon in it. Mod creators, if you're watching this, please add them next update. I'm begging you. Anyways, I then got to work filling in the roof. I decided to use deep slate bricks for this one just to add a bit more color to it. Deep slate's also just another one of those resources I have on mass because of all of my strip mining. And it finished up the bridge going from the main island over towards the Pokemon Center, making it look nice. And here it is, the finished product. I'm pretty proud of this build. If you saw my last video, you would know building is not my strong point. I'm pretty terrible at it, so I'm gonna take this build as a win. Now, I decided I wanted to do more of the Pokemon aspect of Cobblemon, so I got to work making experience shares. The plan was to get all of my Pokemon experience, and then I just kind of grind levels using my Servine. I was short a bit of iron, so I went down my hole to my mine, and I ended up capturing a Poliwag here. I really like Poliwag, so I just had to get it. It's a really cute Pokemon. I also found a Wooper, and I love Wooper. I need Wooper as well. Alright, don't judge me. I need him. I also captured a Joltik while I was here. Again, another one of those Gen 5 Pokemon I just really like and needed to get. I'm gonna slow down on catching for now, but it's just, I love these Pokemon and I needed them. And when I finally found iron and started mining, there was just diamonds right there waiting for me. It was incredible. I actually found quite a few diamonds in here. I even did the 6 speed bridge to get over to these ones. Please appreciate my speed bridge. Anyways, after a couple more veins of diamonds, I went back up to the surface and I caught a Venipede. Venipede's probably my favorite bug type Pokemon. And again, another Unova Pokemon. I know. Like I said, I'm I'm obsessed with this region. It has a lot of really cool Pokemon. And I also found a Spiritomb, which was very unexpected, but I decided to catch it because I know it's a really good Pokemon. Fun fact, in Generation 4, it actually had no weaknesses, making it pretty good. With the introduction of Fairy type, though, it did finally get a weakness, so it's not as good, but it's still a really good Pokemon, and it's gonna be my main tank for a bit. It hits really hard, so I use it to kill things while the rest of my Pokemon get EXP with the EXP share. Also, I add that Wooper to my team, and I'm immediately able to evolve it in the Quagsire, which is very awesome. Look at him. Next, I decided to actually look up how to get a revival herb so I could make a healing station. And it's actually incredibly easy. It's just a plant that was in a lush cave. And if you remember, I have like 1 billion miles of lush cave right underneath my base in my mine. I quickly grab one and I finally get a healing station. Oh my god. So I place it down in my Pokemon Center, and it turns out you need to wait for it to charge up to use it? What is this? Why? I'm being absolutely scammed here. Anyways, I go back to killing Pokemon for XP, and oh my god, Spiritomb is insane. It just destroys anything, no matter how much stronger the other Pokemon is. Also, I know I said I would slow down with catching Pokemon, but I found this Pichu, alright? I need to get the Pichu. Cut me some slack. I love Pichu. While I'm training my Pokemon, I find 2 Waystones just right next to each other, which is incredibly lucky. I decide to set one up at this really nice birch forest I find. This is definitely a place I want to use in the future. There's a lot of flat land, and it just looks good. Like, the birch forest that were added to Minecraft should have looked something like this. This is so good. Also, I find something here with, like, a pot. I'm not too sure what it is. I don't know if there's anything hidden around it. I tried digging to see, but I saw nothing, so I don't know. Also, I find one of the weird Sneasels from Legends Arceus, and I decide to catch it real quick. I also try and catch this cool Ponyta from Sword and Shield, but I accidentally one-tap it. Silly me. But after a bit more training, I managed to get enough XP to get my Whirlipede into a Scolipede. And look at how massive this thing is. He's so cool. I immediately start using it to take out Pokemon. He's just, like I said, my favoriteest bug type ever. It's so cool. He's so awesome. I love him. And then find another weird structure-looking thing. It looks pretty important. I don't know what it's for, though. But I find his Tinkatink right next to it, though. And I decide to catch that as well. It's just another really cool Pokemon that I wanted for my collection. I went home to put the Tinkatink onto her team, and it turns out we were able to immediately evolve it. I then went to the birch place to train up my Pokemon because I heard Snorlax would spawn there, and getting one would be really cool. Now, I never encountered a Snorlax, but I did find this Gibble, which is also a really cool Pokemon. The Gibble line all the way up to Garchomp are all really cool Pokemon, and I'm so glad I found this. Trying to catch it was a little scary, though. All of my Pokemon were much higher levels, and I probably would have one-shot it with pretty much anything. And on top of that, it got poisoned by my Scolipede because I wasn't really thinking to lead with Spiritomb here. It kind of caught me off guard. So I couldn't put it to sleep, and it was slowly losing its health to poison. It almost dies, but I managed to catch it last second after it broke out of a bunch of Pokeballs. Also, I just randomly found a shiny stone, which is pretty cool. I don't quite remember which Pokemon used that one, but I'm pretty sure Togekiss does. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been the Dawnstone Togekiss uses. But either way, I like Togekiss, so I hope we can get one day. And then capture the funny meme Pokemon. Maybe it'll help us farm comments. Who knows? Also, I find another random evolution stone. It'd be cool to use this one on an Eevee to get Jolteon. Jolteon is just so cool. One of the coolest evolutions. After that, I then get the last bit of XP needed to evolve our starter into Superior. I then immediately used it to take out this Pinecone, and let me just say, Superior is such a cool Pokemon. One of the more underrated starters, in my opinion. Also, I find another really cool Gen 5 Pokemon, this one being Zorua. So, you know I had to capture it real quick. Now we have a fully evolved team, and just having them all out here next to each other looks so cool. These are all such sick Pokemon, and seeing their designs in Cobblemon is just, It brings a tear to my eye. It's beautiful. I then picked up yet another Gen 5 Pokemon, this one being Heatmore. Which, fun fact, this Pokemon canonically eats Durants, which is pretty cool. Hope you can rest well knowing that in the real world, Pokemon eat each other. You just gotta deal with it. Exploring a little bit more, I find my first village. Now, the loot in here was just non-existent. There was absolutely nothing good, but I did get this Arcanine. And then found the village waystone and, borrowed it permanently. Also, I did a couple of 6-speed bridges to get a few more evolutionary stones that I found in this random ravine here. Please be impressed. Please. Next, I found a mod where you can add your own custom trainer battles in the Cobblemon. And I decided to try out a quick little battle here with a team I made for what would be a rock-type Pokemon at around this level. I gave this fake gym leader 4 Pokemon, including a level 36 Graveler, a level 36 Onix, a level 38 Steelix, and a level 40 Kabutops. Think of it as if Brock just had a little bit of a power boost after Gen 1. Now, I put a lot of time into designing their movesets to make it pretty interesting and a funny team to go up against, but my Servine just pretty much ends up one-tapping everything with Leaf Blade, so it wasn't a very eventful battle. It did give me the idea to expand upon my world, though, and make it into something bigger. I wanted to make a whole story to what's going on here. I went to the Birch Place to make it its own city. This will include houses, a Pokemon Center, and a battle arena to do these trainer battles in. So I got to work making it more flat by filling it in with dirt and clearing out anything that was just a little too tall. I almost immediately get distracted though and find a ruined portal. Here I'm able to grab 2 gold blocks and I mine a bit of obsidian. And then accidentally turn on the narrator and it actually just jump scared me. I didn't expect the sudden voice to be going through my head. Keep in mind, I also play Minecraft on super high volume so that way I can like experience the sounds better. Because like I said, I like Minecraft to be an entire experience. So it was super scary and I was struggling to be able to turn it off. And then made an enchantment table and put in the work to upgrade it to max level. So I could get better tools to make clearing out land and collecting resources just a little bit faster. But then I realized I'm not a very high level at all. I tried killing some Pokemon to get more XP and it's just not worth it. It takes so long to get any XP. And that got me thinking, like, how am I ever going to get the high enough levels to use enchants? I decided to just leave it for now and I started collecting resources without them. I put quite a bit of time into thinking about how I wanted to design this battle arena. You know, using my limited building abilities and of course lack of resources and, you know, knowledge on how to collect resources efficiently. But eventually I did think of something. I also really wanted to use mud for this build and luckily I had an entire biome of it right next to my base. So I got to work making the arena and I quickly realized I'm gonna need to mine a lot more resources. I did finish the mud and mangrove wood portions of the arena though, so that's pretty cool. I then went back into the mines to get even more resources to finish this build. Once I was done in there, I set up a whole bunch of furnaces to smelt down our iron even faster. And I also crafted all of our redstone into redstone blocks and placed them. Now at this point, I was nowhere near done and I was realizing this is probably gonna take a while and I'm gonna need a lot more redstone and iron to complete this. So I decided to explore the giant cave that's right next to the Birch Place spawn for the first time and it turns out, yeah, it is massive. I even found a structure thing. Again, I don't quite know what it's for, what it does, but it's here. That's pretty cool. Now, after spending just way too long down there, I smelted down even more iron and I crafted all of this redstone in the blocks and it still wasn't enough. I did use the XP from that trip to enchant a new pickaxe though, so that's pretty cool. Out of fear of this video getting too repetitive from constantly mining and then not having enough resources, I decided to just wander around a little bit and I ended up finding this really cool cliff on the side of a mountain. Climbing up there, I just really liked this area. It looked very cool, so I decided I wanted to use this sometime in the future. Also, I found a ruined portal up here, so we got a bit more gold. Wandering a bit more, I realized this is like a hot spring type area, and I saw smoke in the distance, so I decided to work my way towards it. It turned out to be nothing special, and it was just some campfires underneath some magma blocks. Also, I found a dawnstone, which is awesome. I'll probably use it to get a Gallade at some point. I found this little cave entrance, and it ended up actually not being a little cave. It was actually a gigantic cave, and then used the resources in this cave to finish up the battle arena. While I was waiting for the rest of the iron to smelt, I found this really giant thing, and I decided to catch it, because I thought it was pretty cute. And I tried my luck again at enchanting a diamond pickaxe, and this thing is absurd. What is my luck? Efficiency 4, unbreaking free, and fortune free? I wish I got this a couple of hours sooner. It would have saved so much time. And then placed the final iron blocks, and I set up our next battle. Now for this next gym leader, I decided on a normal type team. I went with a bunch of tanky Pokemon to try and make it as annoying and stally as possible. The Wigglytuff and Blissey especially are very scary, having spikes and toxic. Also, I decided I'm only allowed to use the same number of Pokemon as the gym leader, and I have a level cap of 41. It was just to make things a little more difficult for me. It didn't really work out though, as I kinda just sweeped the entire fight with my superior, not having to switch out once. It was just too strong, I guess. I also got a lot of lucky crits, but like, it wasn't quite what I was going for. So I decided to edit all of the Eevees and Ivies real quick just to make it a little bit more competitively viable, and the team absolutely destroyed me after that. Who knew this change in these numbers a bit to make these competitively viable Pokemon would make them just so much stronger? Now Wigglytuff is the scariest Pokemon on this team, and that's because of its hard-hitting fairy-type moves. I lead with Gabite to get a sand attack off, so that way the Wigglytuff has a higher chance at missing a move. It does end up hitting us though, which one-shots our Dragon type since it's weak to Fairy, and then sends out Superior to use Leech Seed, which gets us a bit of health back at the end of every turn. And it turns out the sand attack worked because the Wigglytuff misses its move. I then use Coil to buff a lot of Superior's stats, and Wigglytuff hits us with a Hyper Voice. I decided I didn't want to take a lot of risks, so I went for a now buffed Leaf Blade, and Wigglytuff missed another Hyper Voice. I then used Leaf Blade again to take out the Wigglytuff. This is when Snorlax comes out. I used Leaf Blade on the Snorlax to deal some good damage. Snorlax hits a very strong Hyper Beam on me. This does mean I get to use another Leaf Blade on Snorlax though, while it has to recharge after using the move. And I get a lucky critical Leaf Blade to take out the Snorlax. And then have to sack my Superior to the Lopunny since I needed a safe switch in. After a bit of thinking and chatting with my friend Defect, I decided to send in my Spiritomb, hoping I could put the Lopunny to sleep and spam Nasty Plot to deal more damage. Lopunny goes for a covet, but Spiritomb is immune because it's a ghost type, and we successfully land a Hypnosis. I then use Nasty Plot 3 turns in a row to raise my stats as much as I could. Then the same move Lopunny wakes up, I put it right back to sleep, and then I kill it using Dream Eater the following turn. Then the Blissey comes out, and I start chipping away at its crazy health with Dream Eater. It does take a bit of time though because of just how tanky Blissey is, and also because it has Soft Boiled, which is a move that heals it. In the end, I win the battle after like 6 total attempts. And then started the next step in my plan to make the Birch Place into an actual living city area. I got to work making a quick little birch house that would blend in nicely with the surrounding area. I used this reference image by Sharanam here to make it, so huge shout out to them. It's a really nice build, and you know, mine doesn't look as nice, but I tried my best. Here's the finished product. It's nothing insane, I just wanted something to look nice. For my next build, I needed a lot of quartz, so it's time to go to the nether. It seems I might have made a mistake making the portal. Anyways, after making the proper portal, we enter the nether and pretty much immediately die. I'm very good at this game. Also, I find my first Pokemon here, which is a Numel. I go to capture it, and I think I accidentally murdered it. Anyways, I caught a Darumaka, another Gen 5 Fire-type Pokemon. It's very cool. I love it. It has a really cool evolution, and I hope to get to use it eventually. Also, I saw a terrifying face in the distance that genuinely scared me, and it turned out to be an Arbok, so I decided to catch it because I thought that was a pretty nice touch. Also, I found a Lampet, which evolves in the Chandelure, which is one of my favorite Pokemon ever. It's a really cool ghost fire-type Pokemon, and I just needed it. Also, I found a Ceruledge, or however you pronounce it, I don't quite know how, and oh my god, this thing was such a pain to capture. I quite literally had to use the entirety of my team. I tried my hardest to deal damage to it, but it had a move that could just heal itself a really large amount of health for some reason. So I just had to start chucking Pokeballs at it and praying they would work. And after literally 4 minutes of trying to capture this thing, it just absolutely obliterated me, killing every single one of my Pokemon and me using so many Ultra Balls. I just threw one Quick Ball at it, and it worked. it just worked. Anyways, it's a really cool Pokemon, and I'm glad I got to catch it. Anyways, I got started on the Pokemon Center. I wanted a more modern look to this one, so I used a lot of round corners and glass. I was going for a Gen 5 Pokemon Center look with this one. And, you know, it's not pretty, but I think it fits the vibe very well. And it also helps this area feel more full and lively. Having it combined with a really nice house, it's just, it looks good. I'm starting to like this place. I didn't want to go back to doing Pokemon stuff, and I found this Talonflame. This is by far my favorite of the Start and Bird Pokemon, so I'm really glad I got to find one. Also, I found a Firestone ore on the side of a cave, and it just hit me that fortune works on them, so I got 4 from 1 ore. Like, that's just awesome. We're gonna be getting so many more stones. Also, a little after, I found an ice stone above a lava pit. Kind of ironic, but after safely bridging to it, I got it, and then found a village at the top of a mountain, which is just such a cool place to have a village. There wasn't any really good loot in it, but I did grab a waystone. I also found a second waystone right next to the village, like literally in render distance, which is just super lucky. I also found this random chest, which had a bit of loot in it, but overall wasn't too impressive. I was getting really sick of seeing the same biomes over and over again, so I made a boat and took off to the ocean. After a bit of boating, I found this really cool blue-looking biome thing. I don't quite know what it is, but it's a nice aesthetic. It was very difficult to traverse and took a lot of time just to get anywhere, but I did hit this sick boat clutch, so, you know, please appreciate it. Also, there were just evolution stones everywhere here, some literally just right next to each other. All of this mountainside being exposed just made it super easy to find a bunch, so we're pretty stocked up on evolution stones now. Also, I found a structure in the distance, so, you know, obviously I had to approach it. Inside, I didn't really find anything in it. I went up this water tunnel to find an axolotl, but there was no loot. It quite literally was just this. I set up a waystone in here anyways, just so I could get back here, and then I hit an even sicker boat clutch and took off into the night. After boating for a bit, I found this giant ocean monument, so I crafted some doors and went inside to steal the treasure from the center. After a bit more boating, I found another structure just sitting out of the water. There didn't seem to be anything inside of it, so I just left. I then found a second ocean monument, but decided to just leave it there. I really didn't want to loot another one. I then started getting trapped between 2 land masses, so I was forced to go to shore and run through this forest. I eventually found a village in a plains biome, which is so cool. I really wanted a plains biome. Here I found an Eevee, and you know, I just had to capture it. I also found a weird looking Voltorb, so I went to catch that as well. Now, for some reason, this village just didn't have a waystone. I looked really hard, but just couldn't find one, so I had to set up one of my own. I then used to go back home to pick up a few more, since I had ran out at that point. Kinda sucks. I then found a weird looking Starly, and I almost ran past it, because I couldn't quite tell if it was shiny or not, but I caught it just in case. But then I got the achievement for catching my first shiny, so I'm glad I decided to catch it. I then just kind of realized I had a billion Thunderstones, so I used one on Eevee and evolved it into Jolteon, and oh my god, I am in love! This thing is adorable. Next up, I was gonna do a water-type gym, so I started preparing my team for that, which included evolving my Voltorb into Electrode. And then put a lot of time into deciding what moves I want my Pokemon to learn. And I went for the PC, really thinking about how I'm gonna take on each Pokemon in this fight. Just so much time and planning, since again, I made a competitively viable Pokemon team for this next gym. But then it turns out all that planning was actually for nothing, and I kind of destroyed this battle so easily. It's so disappointing. There's literally nothing I could have done this time to make it harder as well. At first, I was really worried about the Kingdra, and I really planned to head for it with Slowbro and stuff, but just for it to not matter, because Superior is just too OP. You might be able to tell I'm pretty disappointed by this fight and the absolute onslaught that was just Superior going up against everything. After that disappointing battle, I decided I wanted something actually fun and engaging, something that would push me to my limits, a final battle to decide everything. So I made a team full of my favorite Pokemon from this run. I started training up the ones that were a little further behind in levels, like the Starly and the Gabite. I quickly evolved the Staravia into a shiny Staraptor, and this thing just looks insane. I'm so glad that out of all the shinies I could have found, this was the one. It looked so good. I immediately took on a Pineco and kind of destroyed it. I'm sorry, me friend. And then after a bit more training, I got Gabite to a high enough level to evolve into Garchomp. But then as I was about to send it out to evolve it, I found a Cyndaquil, so I had to capture it real quick. I love Cyndaquil. But yes, here he is. Garchomp, as beautiful as ever. I love him. So I wanted to switch to live commentary for this final battle. Hope you guys don't mind that too much. Just thought it would make this little bit of a finale a little bit more impactful. Also, let me know if you guys would want to see a little series out of this. You know, we can do a part 2, expand on this. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of stuff in my own time. This was just a lot of fun. Anyways, we should probably just start this fight. We're going to lead with Jolteon because they lead with a Charizard. See, if we get a critical discharge, we can one-tap it. Are we going to be lucky enough? We are not. Oh, we got the Paralyzed, though. Hold on. No, we're not lucky enough. Yeah, that's absolutely going to one-shot us. But I do not mind too much because now we can switch into Slowbro. Slowbro will get a crazy Surf going. We are very strong special hitter. Yeah, oh, I thought that would do more damage to us. But anyways, yeah, we got the Charizard. Awesome. Magma Zone. It's definitely gonna go for an electric move because I'm weak to that. So we're gonna Garchomp if we're gonna be immune. It could go for a status move, actually. No, it went for Volt Switch. Right, we're fine. Try Dig. Yeah, that's definitely a move. There's no need for anything else. We have the advantage over this. It's future things where we'd have to do it a little bit differently. Fight. Let's continue to Dig. Oh, it has a balloon! Oh, no! The Flash Cannon, why? Alright, I need to think here. We get lucky with a Crunch and get a Flinch, I guess. No, it lowers its defense stat, which is not at all what I want. Alright, I made a big mistake. Oh, no. I guess we'll go for Dragon Claw. Wasn't very effective. Maybe we should have gone for a Crunch, but oh, no, that's upsetting. I forgot this thing had an air balloon. I literally made the team. Alright, that was such a misplay. We're going to Chandelure. We should have Flame Burst. Please hit. Super effective. Alright, destroyed. Awesome. Man, it sucks we have to lose. We're gone for Garchomp there. Ooh. Metagross? That's something I forgot about? Or can we just Flame Burst it again? Oh, it had Earthquake! Oh, it did have something I forgot about. No. I'm trying to really think hard about this one. Trying to really think. How do I come back from this? I think I really folded here, actually. Wait. No, we go into Staraptor here. Hold on. Let me cook. Hold on. I need to get Staraptor in frame. Look at how amazing this shiny looks. I love this so much. Should we go for double team set up on this? It can't hit us with Earthquake. It has... the steel moves might do. Let's go for a double team. I think that's a good strat here. Raise our evasion. Yeah, Meteor Mash, it missed. Maybe we can spam double team until it hits something on us. Then I'll see we're good. Alright, we're lucky. Post-combat now. Alright, it missed the Bullet Punch. Oh, thank God. That's a nothing. Alright, let's get another close combat going. We just need to hope the double team's coming clutch here. We just gotta keep hitting it. We're absolutely gonna get destroyed if we get hit again. Which I don't think's too big of a deal because even if we get hit, we're dead anyways. So, I don't think it really matters. Oh my God, we're getting so lucky with these misses. Alright, the double team strat was definitely the strat to go for. I don't like those leftovers. Not at all, me friend. Would Brave wouldn't be better, right? Am I being stupid by going for... this? It really doesn't matter. We die anyways. I know it's a crit. Pink. It's Psychic. What does this even have? I can't remember. I don't think Slowbro is good for much else. Slowbro could get destroyed here, though. We've already... I think we've used Slowbro pretty well. We can use it here. If we hit a yawn... No, we wouldn't survive long enough to use a yawn. We can't really take hits. It's the last move it used. Then a Headbutt. If I wanted to not have Zen Headbutt, I think I'm okay with it having Zen Headbutt. We shouldn't disable here. We go for Yawn. Let's go for Yawn. Earthquake. We're fine. Yawn might have been a bad play here, but maybe we're fine. Let's Surf it. Oh, we got the the Quick Claw. Yeah, we should have just gone for Surf. What was I doing? All right. Oh, I forgot it was Heracross next. Bug type. We're weak to Bug. We can put it to sleep to get a few free hits. So let's go for Yawn. Yeah, we weren't gonna survive. It sucks. Okay. Oh, and it's attack rose. Oh, this is scary. Oh, we're in a scary situation here. Should we stall with leech seed instead of coil? I think that's a good start. What do you mean a miss? Oh, no, what is this luck? All right, come on. Tank a couple hits, please. Land this leech seed. We need this. All right, he was seeded. If he gets a crit, we're done for. I'm pretty sure Night Slash has a higher chance of crits, right? Or am I stupid? Come on, can we get a Giga Drain? Yeah, I know it's not very effective. I really don't care. Just any health, really. Oh, really? All right. That sucks. Okay. Oh, hi, Starly.